And hello, good timers. Welcome to another cooking vlog today with Andy. And today, I got a big surprise for you guys. After many years of a lot of you guys asking me, because you know I'm obsessed with it, today we are finally going to cook up Andy's corned beef hash. That's right, I've been talking about it forever, guys. You know, I've got certain perimeters when it comes to my corned beef hash. I got a lot of specifics that I like and don't like. Today you're going to find all those secrets out with me here in the kitchen. So let's get started on this corned beef hash recipe for all you guys that have requested it. Guys, so those of you that are familiar with all of our vlogs, you'll know that I'm obsessed with corned beef hash. If I go someplace for breakfast, corned beef hash has to be on that menu. And my main obsession is that it has to be fresh, homemade corned beef hash. You don't want that stuff from a can, guys. All right, it's not good for you. It looks like dog food. Pretty much tastes like dog food for the most part. I know a lot of you guys grew up with that stuff. Your mama took it out of the can and she put it in the old cast iron pan and she, fried it up. That's not the way you want to do it, guys. That stuff is loaded with like a year worth of sodium. And it's weird because it's got all that sodium in it and it still doesn't taste like anything besides dog food. So skip over that. It's so easy to make your own corned beef hash, guys. I'm going to show it to you today. It's got like 5 ingredients: potatoes, onions, carrots, pickling spice, and of course a piece of corned beef. Worst part about this recipe, guys, is you have to basically wait all day long because you do have to slow cook your corned beef. But after that, trust me, it's well worth the effort, well worth the wait. You're going to love this homemade corned beef hash, and I'm going to show you how to make it right now. All right, good timers. So the first thing you want to do is get your corned beef out of the package. Now, a lot of you are probably used to seeing corned beef with a bright red, pinkish almost color to it. That's because a lot of corned beef is cured in what they call pink salt, which isn't really exactly natural and it has a lot of nitrates in it, which are not good for you either. So what I've done is I buy this from Butcher Box again, and you've heard me talk about that before, and it is an uncured, nitrate-free corned beef. So it does not have that pink color. It's actually been cured in a combination of water, salt, celery seed, things like that that they can use naturally to cure a piece of beef. So this is cured just like that pink one you can see quite often at your grocery store, just doesn't look quite the same. So now what you're going to do is you're going to put this in the slow cooker for about, I'd say about 5 or 6 hours till it's pretty much fork tender, guys. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cool it down, and then we're going to cut it up along with the other ingredients that are going to go into the crock pot. And then you're pretty much going to have your corned beef hash ready to go. So you'll see that most corned beefs, pretty much all of them, come with a seasoning packet. This is just pickling spice, guys. Primarily it's mustard seed, so you got some parsley in there, allspice, cinnamon, bay leaf is another big thing that's in there. So that's your pickling spice, guys. If you don't have a packet like this that comes with your corned beef, pick yourself up some pickling spice in a jar like this, and it's the same exact stuff. So there you go. All we're going to do is we're going to put this into the crock pot, and then we're going to set it for, like I said, about 5 hours. We're going to put it on high, actually. You can put it on low and cook it for 8 hours if you like, but I don't want it to take too long here, so we'll go ahead and show you that. All right, so easy peasy, guys. We're going to put the corned beef in here. We're going to put this fat side up, actually. So we want all that luscious fat there to drip down right into the corned beef and flavor that up. But don't forget, you got to put your seasoning packet on there. So once again, this is just the packet that's included with the corned beef. We're going to sprinkle that generously all over the top there. What we're doing here, guys, is called braising. So when you have a piece of corned beef or whatever meat you're cooking here in your slow cooker, you want to cover it with just enough water to pretty much meet to the top. Now you can also use beer here, guys. I've done that before, which is excellent. Make sure if you do use beer, you're using a dark beer, something with some flavor. You don't want a pumpkin beer or anything weird like that. You'll want just the beer flavor. I'm going to add a little bit more of my pickling spice here, guys, that I got, just because I like it to be nice and flavorful. This is where all your flavor is going to come from, so you want to make sure you got plenty of it. So I'm also going to add a little bit of extra pepper, because I like things to be really peppery. Now once you've got this cooked, guys, taste your corned beef. If it doesn't have enough salt or pepper or anything like that for you, you can always put more seasoning in after it's cooked before you fry it up for your breakfast. Now, I like the perfect combination, guys, and you've heard me say this before, of about a 70 to 30, 80 to 20 ratio, somewhere in that area. So that means you want about 80% beef, about 20% vegetables. All right, beef should shine here, guys, in a corned beef hash. Otherwise, it wouldn't be called corned beef hash, right? So that's what we're going to do. Next is we're going to cut up all these vegetables. We're going to throw the vegetables right on top of the corned beef right here in the crock pot so that corned beef can get flavored with the veggies as well. So it's going to be delicious, guys. We'll get those vegetables getting cut up and added to this here in just a second. You don't really have to be too careful when it comes to cutting. You actually want some bigger chunks in here to go on the corned beef. We're going to cut it again later after everything cools, and we're going to use those vegetables that are cooking in with the beef to actually flavor the beef as well. So we're just going to cut this onion. As you can see, I've already cut into this onion a couple days earlier for some other recipes I was making, so we're just going to use the remainder of it. But once again, if you buy it fresh from the store, you're going to want probably a medium to a large onion. We've got about 3 pounds of corned beef in there right now. If you guys are wondering how big that corned beef is. So we're just kind of, like I said, bigger hunks of onions and stuff like that. We're going to cut them down even more later. So just like that is good. Then we're going to do the same thing with our carrots. And Pickles Simone has done very well with peeling the carrots for me behind the scenes, because I hate to peel carrots. And then we're just going to cut these into, about that big of pieces there. About an inch, I guess you would say. Now you can also add celery to this, guys, if you like. Once again, I would probably only do 1 stalk of celery if you're going to, but I'm not a huge celery fan, so I'm not going to do that. Same thing goes with green peppers. You will see hash with green peppers in it, but that's just absolutely disgusting, so we're not going to do that today either. All of you guys know how we feel about green peppers, and they basically do not belong in anything except your garden. So there you go. We are going to hold off on cutting the potatoes, though, guys, because we're going to add the potatoes probably in the last hour or so of cooking the corned beef. We don't want those potatoes to overcook and become mashed. We want to have a little bit of texture in those still. So we will cut those up a little bit later. For right now, we're going to cook the onions and carrots in with the corned beef for about 5 hours on high, and then we'll see what it looks like afterwards. So we're just going to toss this all right on top of the corned beef. All that stuff is going to cook down, and all the juices from the veggies are going to fall down into that meat and make it really delicious here. Now, the other thing I didn't think of, which I will do right now, is we're going to add some garlic to this. Probably about a tablespoon of garlic, unless you like it garlickier, and then add a little bit more. And if you like not so much garlic, then you can either omit it completely or just add a little bit less. But we're going to go. All right, guys, as you can see now, we're about 4 hours in on this corned beef. You can see the vegetables there have softened up pretty good. Corned beef still has a little bit longer to go, probably another hour, maybe 2. So I'm going to go ahead and add the potatoes to it now. Once again, just like the potatoes are now in, I've just basically quartered most of them, so they're about that size. Try to put a lot of them underneath the liquid there, guys. You want that to absorb all the good flavors of the corned beef and the juice. It's been about 5 or 6 hours now. About 5, I think. And our corned beef is ready. Our potatoes are ready. Onions ready. Carrots ready. Everything's ready. So now what you want to do at this point is go ahead and obviously turn off your crock pot. Then you're just going to go ahead and start dicing, chopping all this stuff up. And I'm going to use this big bowl here to mix it all into. And then pretty much your corned beef hash is going to be ready to fry up in the pan. So I'm going to get cutting on this stuff, show you guys some of the cooked items, and we'll show you the finished product here in just a second. Now what you want to do is mix all this together, and you can just bare hand this and get in there and get a little messy, so give it a good stir. Now while you're stirring, kind of mash it up a little bit too, so that way you have a couple of different kind of pieces of potatoes there. You get a little bit of mashed, get a little bit of the diced potatoes, so nice consistency. It'll crisp up real nice. So yeah, that's pretty much what you're looking for. It's not going to be pretty until you cook it. And even then, it's not the prettiest thing in the world either, but it sure is going to taste good. Now's a great time to actually taste it, guys, to see if you need any more salt or pepper or anything like that before you throw it into your cast iron grilling pan or whatever you want to use. So we're just going to give it a taste and see what we think here before we go ahead and cook it. So we're just going to get in here and get a little taste here. Make sure it's seasoned the way we want to have it seasoned before we eat it. Before we cook it, I should say. And yeah, I think I'm going to add a little bit more garlic, probably just a little bit of garlic powder, but the salt is fine. Don't salt your corned beef hash, guys, because it already has all kinds of salt in the corned beef itself. So salt is great, enough pepper, but I think it's a little bit more garlic, and I think it's good to go. All right, so guys, let's go ahead and get cooking now. So I've got this cast iron pan here, which I use for pretty much everything. It's kind of scorching hot right now, so we're going to turn down the heat on it a little bit. Add yourself probably about a tablespoon or two of oil. I'm going to go probably 2 tablespoons. There we go. And then you are just going to put your corned beef hash in here, however much you want to have. And Simone, my camera girl, should tell me when.
That's plenty for me.
That's plenty for her.
You can even do less.
And I need double that. So one more little scoop for me. Alright, next thing you want to do is smash that right down into the pan, guys. Because what you're looking for is a really big crisp. To get that crisp, you gotta smash it down. Alright, so we're gonna cook it on this side for 3 or 4 minutes, give it a toss, cook it for another 3 or 4 minutes, give it another toss, another 3 or 4 minutes. You get the hint. So, as soon as it's nice and crispy the way you like it, turn off the heat and eat. So, we'll go ahead and just let that simmer and fry up for a minute. I'll show you the results. Alright guys, as you can see, the corned beef hash is nice and crispy looking now. And we've got my sous chef here, Pickles.
Hello.
Say hello. For those of you who haven't followed my vlogs, this is my wife Simone. And she does all the egg cooking, because she can crack them without getting a shell in them. And she just thinks she fries them better, because I tend to have mine a little bit on the runny side, and she likes to kill hers to death.
I like them.
So anyway, we're going to cook these to both of our likings. And then we're going to serve it on top of this delicious corned beef hash. Okay, guys, and here it is. The ultimate test. Is it going to be Pickles approved?
It's Pickles approved.
Pickles approved, alright.
You got the right meat to potato to vegetable ratio, Andy.
What do you think, like 70-30, 80-20?
I think like a 70-30.
I think it's 70-30. I was shooting for 80-20. I think I got 70-30 out of it.
A little heavy-handed on the...
A little heavy-handed on potatoes and carrots, but...
But it's good. Yep.
All right. There we go, guys. Nice and crispy corned beef hash. Perfectly cooked egg on top.
That's my doing.
It's time to have some breakfast for dinner.
I got some eggs for Snowden.
Some eggs for Snowden, that's right.
Yeah, I got you some eggs.
So that being said, guys, until next time.
Have a good time.
Have a good time, guys. Thanks for joining us.